Thanks to Craftsy for sponsoring today's video. Apartments can be pretty devoid of personality and character. That's why we're going to be making some renter-friendly DIYs to add some style into your space. Hi everyone, I'm Alli and welcome to my channel, and in this video we're going to be going back to one that I did a couple weeks ago, but you guys loved it. We're going to be doing some more little renter-friendly DIYs that can add a little bit of some character to your apartment. And just like last time, my goals for these projects are to make them damage-free, removable, and no power tools required. So I don't want to stand here talking much longer. I want to get right into the first project, which is a redo of a project I've done in the past, but I think that it is time to remake it because you guys ask for the tutorial all the time. So what we are making is this faux Roman shade that I made a long time ago, back in one of my very first room makeovers in my last apartment, and I think that this is such a cool project because not only does it just hide those blinds that come in your apartment, those builder grade blinds that aren't super cute, it still allows you to use the blinds and not also have to switch out the window treatments. The very first thing that I had to do was cut down my fabric to size. You're going to want to measure the width of your window. That is going to be the finished width of your project. Then I always like to add on a 1/2 inch on each side for some seam allowance. And then the length of the fabric that you're going to use is going to depend on exactly the look that you want for this Roman shade. But I would say err on the side of adding more fabric than not enough. Now, something that I had to do for my own personal project was add in some fusible interfacing, and that is simply because I was using some standard quilting fabric for this project, but you could totally skip this step by just buying a nice duck cloth or upholstery style fabric to do this project. The only reason I am here is because I searched the fabric store and could not find a fabric that matched the craft room that I liked until I found this one here, so I'm making it just a little bit harder on myself. Now it is time to pin everything up, and I'm starting with the left and right seam as well as the bottom seam, leaving the top one as is for right now. So if you remember the last time that we did one of these videos, I had mentioned that I really wanted to brush up on some of my sewing skills, which is why I turned to Craftsy, who is the sponsor of today's video. And I had mentioned last time that I wanted to take Sarah Alm's Startup Library sewing class, which I did, and that's why we are here and we're going to be doing this project with some of the new skills that I learned, or at least feel like I have a little bit of that refresher that I needed in order to feel more confident in my sewing ability. Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative like sewing, quilting, knitting, cake decorating, crochet, arts, or baking. You can find instructional videos that are taught by talented and friendly experts, and the professional instructors walk you through each technique that you're learning with step-by-step demonstrations, and I love that you're learning new tips and tricks along the way. Once I'm done. Craftsy is an online community of creative, like-minded makers where members can find endless inspiration, learn new skills, and even find a new hobby, with over 2,000 classes to pick from for all skill levels. And the best part is, for the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description box will get their first full year of membership on Craftsy for just $8.49, which is such a steal for all of the phenomenal resources that you can find on Craftsy. So be sure to head to the description box and check out that link and sign up. Now the next thing that we want to do, now that we have created just our basic rectangle shape right here, is then create what's going to give this that faux Roman shade look. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your fabric and essentially create kind of like a double pleat thing going on. So it kind of looks like a layer and a layer like that. So that should work. And I'm just gonna measure just to make sure that it's the same width all the way down. There we go, that was good. That was like a really good guess. So now I'm going to fold down the top hem and sew that into place to create a pocket that a rod would go through. Once that was done, I then stitched the first fold into place, that way it would not fall apart. Once you have that hem in place, we're now going to take it and make another line that's going to go right here. That's going to hold this top fold right in place. And I just kind of creased the fabric the best that I could to get a little impression. And I'm just going to follow that line, but I also penciled it on just to make it a little bit easier to see what I am doing, though I do not pencil it on very straight. Now we're going to do the crafter's favorite hack, which is using hot glue. And honestly, you could sew this because all we're going to be doing is tacking down a little bit, because obviously right now it's going to hang like this. So we just have to kind of tack down these two corners to the front piece of our shade, so that way it will just hold nice and effortlessly in the window, and it's going to look really good. And yeah, you could totally just sew these if you want, but hot glue is so much quicker and so much easier. For the next project, we are going to be making this stove shelf that I saw online, and I knew that I could easily DIY this, and I think that you could too. And I love this because it creates a little extra storage for a renter and also kind of adds slightly like a more built-in look around your stove. And I'm guessing most of us all have the same looking stove that we are cooking on, so this is why I think this is just a great renter-friendly project. Now, as I mentioned, and just like last time, we are going to be making this power tool free. So I have brought out the little miter box saw. This is linked on my Amazon store. It is down in the description box if you want to find one for yourself. And this is going to work really great. So this right here is a 4x1 by 4 foot board. You're going to need 2 of these for this project. It's just pine. You're going to want to measure your stove. You're going to want to get the entire top width, length of the stove, and also the height, and then add on a little bit of your width of your board that you're using onto that side. So mine is going to be 30 and then 2 11-inch pieces. So that is what we're going to do. So what we're gonna do now is take little corner brackets, and we're gonna use those. We're gonna take our little pieces like this, and we're gonna attach them in like this. We're gonna do 2 on each one. So I totally thought that I was going to need a drill for this project, but it turns out it is 100% power tool free, which I love because I know so many renters don't have access to power tools. Now you're gonna see right here, I had Alex help me with the assembly of this first piece, but that's just because I was working against gravity and thought that I was going to need an extra set of hands to support this. But as you'll see, I was able to get this on my own, and I'm just using wood screws that came with the L brackets. They're self-tapping, so you're able to just use a screwdriver to screw these in to these wood boards, and it holds everything together perfectly. Once I had this shelf assembled, I then sanded it to smooth some of the sharp edges and to clear off any of the squeeze out from that wood glue, and it was looking so good at this point. As my final step to really make this come to life, I then stained it with my favorite wood stain, which is Early American. I pretty much stain everything with this because it's like the perfect medium brown. You could stain it any color you want. It would look really nice with the natural wood, or even a black shelf would look so good too. So the possibilities are endless. And once I had the whole thing stained and after it had dried, I then applied a few coats of a matte polyurethane finish. This is going to make it so easy, since this is going above your stove, that you'll be able to clean that shelf. Now this next project, I'm really excited about this one because I think you can just really let your creativity flow with this. And I just have a ton of knobs left over from other projects, and I pretty much hoard them. But you can obviously pick up some really cheap hardware at the store and use it to swap out hardware throughout your apartment. But I wanted to make this DIY style. I'm inspired by one of my favorite Instagram accounts, Boho Frisco, and I saw her make knobs for her kitchen that look like food using polymer clay. And so I want to try something but make it a little bit different and put my own spin on it. So I'm going to make 2 knobs so that you can have a knob example, as well as 2 drawer pulls so that you can have a drawer pull example. And I'm thinking that I want to go for the coquette trend. So essentially make really cute little bows with polymer clay. This project is so fun, and I promise it's also super easy. So we're going to start with the drawer pulls. And what you're going to need to do though is make sure that the clay will hold on to the metal knobs and pulls that you're using. So for the drawer pulls, I cut out tiny little strips of black polymer clay because that matched the color of the pole, and wrapped it around the back, essentially creating a little thing that is going to then hold our clay decorative piece into place and make sure that it doesn't just fall off the metal handle after baking it. So like I mentioned, I wanted to go for a fun ribbon theme, so I'm rolling out some pink clay to make the look of a ribbon. Now the possibilities for this project are endless. Of course, you do not have to do a ribbon theme. You could do all sorts of different things with different colors, whatever shape your heart desires. This is one of those projects that you could just let your creativity flow and do whatever you want with it. Like the food theme is so cute, but also I like the idea of maybe a flower theme, or you could even just make like some squiggle kind of designs around the handles and knobs, or whatever you might want to do. This is such a fun project, and also I love the idea of doing this for a kitchen and making each knob or each drawer pull look completely different from each other to create a fun eclectic set. Because these handles and drawer pulls are metal, I'm able to bake them in the oven following the instructions on the polymer clay packaging. Once they had completely cooled, I then gave them a very light sand around all of the edges to smooth them out using a fine grit sandpaper. Now, when it comes down to the drawer pulls, I was really thinking that they kind of looked like tongues with this pink color. And I could not have that. It was just so cringy. So I painted them a new shade of pink that looks a little more ribbon-like and a little less tongue-like. At least I think so. So hopefully this kind of improved them. But yeah, I could not see past tongue when I pulled these out of the oven. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. For the knobs, you do have to follow a similar thing, which is wrap the entire knob in some polymer clay, because that is going to hold it into place. Make sure that that clay does not come off. And then I did the same thing, creating cute little pink bow shapes that I do eventually end up painting to match the same color as the drawer pulls. And just a little tip, before you apply your little clay decorative piece onto those bases that we created, make sure that you score both the black clay as well as the clay piece that you made. This will ensure that both stick together really well. Now these totally are just an example of what you can do, and I think the possibilities are so endless, and I'm trying to think of ways that I would want to use these around my apartment or even try out new and different designs. Don't forget to check out Craftsy using the link in the description box. The first 1,000 people to sign up will get their first year of Craftsy premium membership for just $1.49. And I hope you enjoyed these renter-friendly DIY. If you want to check out last video, I have linked that up on the screen right here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.